Hello friends, it's Tanya, and it is Tuesday. It is April 15th, 2025, and I am here today for a Tuesday tip, a little bit different today, and I'll explain why in a moment, but it is a big day today, a lot of things happening in the Stampin' Up! World. If you are a demonstrator, hopefully you're completely on top of it. If you're not a demonstrator and you're a customer, all the things have changed. So last week I celebrated 22 years as a demonstrator. Woo woo! And for those 22 years, our rewards program, as far as host rewards, have been the same for those that long and longer, but my entire time. And then about a year and a half ago or so, they started talking about the fact that they're going to be changing the rewards program, and today's the day. So the system went down around 10 a.m. Eastern time, the whole Stampin' Up! System. So you couldn't order, you couldn't look at orders, you couldn't look at the store. And it was already done by about 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it didn't take as long as they anticipated, which is awesome. But the good news is the rewards program, the new one, is here, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too. Essentially, real quick, before I turn my camera down, I just want to mention the rewards program is open for anyone ordering. You don't have to be part of a party. You don't have to use a host code anymore. But every order, $20 US or more, and it's not every 20, but it's every order more than $20 US, will earn 10% rewards to redeem on your future order. And you can accumulate those for up to a year. As you earn them, you can accumulate them as long as you want and redeem them along the way if you want, but they're good for a year. That 10% rewards, they go into your little pocket, if you will, the Stampin' Up! Pocket. So as long as you have a Stampin' Up! Account, which is just usually it's signed up as through your email, and you opt in to receive those rewards, because they can't automatically give it to you, you have to opt in. Unless you're a demonstrator. If you're a demonstrator, you were automatically opted in today when it started. But you can use them on any future order. And again, you can bank them for up to a year and save up for something bigger with your free product credits. So it's an exciting time. Again, there's no minimum to earn rewards anymore except for the $20. So it used to be $150 as a workshop order, would be the minimum to earn rewards. So now it's down to $20. So that means more people can earn with smaller order quantities. So that's a little bit about it. If you've got questions, and let me know. And I'm excited about them and all that they can do for you and give you more free product as you go along the way and accumulate your crafting supplies. So today I am going to be sharing something a little bit different. Usually I do these Tuesday videos to give you a tip. Last week it was just a little general talk about finding a community. It doesn't have to be a paper crafting community, but the importance of finding a community. And I had some sweet messages that I received following last week. So thank you all for your sweet messages. And thank you all for your congratulations on my 22 years as a demonstrator. I felt the love from many of you, and I appreciate that so much. So this past weekend on Saturday, I had one of the classes I do about three times a year or so, and it's called a Super Saturday class. In that class, it's here in the studio, and I offer 3 different classes, all going on at the same time at different stations. And the attendees can pick whether they wanted to do 1 class, 2 classes, or all 3 classes. And it's usually not just cards. This time I had 1 class that was cards, and it was the Goodbye Hello class. And that was a lot of fun because we did a set of 5 cards with the outgoing in colors and a set of 5 cards with the incoming in colors. So they got a sneak peek of those products. So that was one of the classes. One of the classes was a decor piece, a frameable 8x8 decor piece using the storybook moments and a couple of treats to go along with that. And then the 3rd class was an envelope mini album. And I showed some pictures of it, and this is the cover of it, and on my Facebook page, and I got a lot of comments and feedback. All all good. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing a little bit with you today about this. And I'm also going to hint that I will be offering this as a class to go. This is a non-stamping class. All you really need is adhesive, the supplies I provide for the class materials, and some kind of paper trimming device. Even scissors would work, but if you have a paper trimmer of some type, that is the only other thing you really need. So adhesive and paper trimmer or some kind of paper trimming device. And that's really it. So I am going to show you a little bit about that, and I need to get my phone turned down so you can see my desktop, and I can tell you a little bit about it and show you the basics of how I put it together. So if you don't want to do the class to go, totally fine. I'm going to give you the basics because this is not, Tanya did not invent this idea. I actually was inspired by Shannon West, who presented last month at our demonstrator OnStage event in Raleigh. Shannon West she's also a demonstrator, but she works at headquarters. She's a demonstrator development manager in the US. She's very creative. I always love her style of projects. And this is one of the projects, not this exact one, but the idea of it was what inspired me to put together this class for my Super Saturday. And now I'm going to be offering it as a to-go as well. So if you're interested in that information, it will be done, the ordering part will be done this month, and delivery will be the first week of May to you, whether you're local or not local. You have to be US though. So let me know in the comments if you would like information on that, and I will make sure I can email it to you. And I do PayPal usually for things like that for class fees. So and if it's shipping to you, it's going to be $40, and if you're local pickup, it'll be $35. All right. So again, I can give you all the details in the email, but I just wanted to say that now before I flip my camera down. All right. So here we go. Let me put my cover up my camera while I flip it down. And I just want to check something real quick while I'm setting up. Uh-oh, hopefully I didn't rotate too weirdly. All right, give me just 1 second. So I'm going to do a couple things here before I flip it. I might have to zoom out, so just be patient for a moment. Take that glare off of there. Actually, that added it. There we go. Might zoom out a little bit. All right, I need to go grab one thing I forgot to bring over here while I'm showing you this. So give me just a second. All right, so let me give you a quick little view of the album. And if you're watching today, let me know. Give me some kind of thumbs up or something. Or if you're just watching a replay, that's awesome too. Let's see. All right, so this is the photo album, and it's an accordion style album. So when you have it stood up, you can stand it up like this. You could also kind of maneuver through it like a book, like this. So this is the photo. This is what I created, again being inspired by Shannon West. These would make perfect gifts for Mother's Day, or any kind of fun gift for someone, maybe a little memory album. And so this is kind of what it looks like. So let me talk a little bit about how it comes together and what supplies were needed. So I'm going to leave it a little bit like this while I show you some other things. All right, so you can see that. So the basic supplies that are needed are your basic white medium envelopes. You'll need some of those. Mine is made with 9. Each participant got 10. So if you are going to do the to-go, you will get 10 envelopes. You're going to need, what I used were the Mixed Media Florals, Memories, and More card pack. And so you're going to get some of these to go in your kit, and that's what the kit came with on Saturday at Super Saturday. You won't need this, but if you're making it on your own, this is the tab punch that I used. It's called Keeping Tabs. This is currently available and is also carrying over into the new catalog as well. This is $23 for the punch. Now, I will give you a little heads up. There is currently a die that does the exact same thing. This is in the main catalog right now, and it's on the last chance list. So if you have a die cutting machine and you want to get the die, they're actually on sale right now, the die set, and it's just a single die to cut the same image out. The single die is $7.20, whereas the punch is $23. So of course it takes a little bit longer to run a die through, but I will mention that it is currently on the last chance list. The die, not the punch. The punch is carrying over. The other thing that is needed to do this, besides these basic supplies, is some solid cardstock. So as you can see here, I used some solid pieces here. This is Memories and More cards here. This is actually solid cardstock, and then some little strips of the Memories and More cards that I cut down. That's a Memories and More card. This has a piece of solid cardstock and one of the small Memories and More cards. Cardstock with a little strip there, and I'll show you some of these inserts in a moment. And another, this is a layer. This is actually two cards. This is a small card layered over a large card. Inside, there are pockets. So this has a little pull out here. That's the back to the cover, and I'll show you how I did that. I don't have a pocket on this layout here. This one has a hidden pocket as well, and I actually added a Memories and More card to that one just to do some journaling. There is, I did not put one in there, but there's one here, and this one I flipped it a little bit and did the die or the punch with some of the cards here, punched it out. And I'll show you some of those pieces in a moment. And that's it. So now I only did the front side of the accordion to start with. I'll show you the other side now. So the back side is just the backs of the envelopes, or backs and fronts. And that is going to be covered up later because I just wanted to be able to show everybody how to put it together. And it comes together really quickly, but I'm going to go back and add more cards and cardstock to the back. So these are the basic supplies that you need. The package that the attendees received, and if you decide to do the class to go, you will get a similar package. So it came with the Memories and More cards, as I mentioned, 10 of the basic white envelopes, and they also got the Stampin' Write marker in basic black. And that is to help with doing journaling and little doodling or little things you might want to document throughout the album. So in addition, while they were here, we also cut out cardstock pieces in various colors to add throughout the album. You'll kind of see these are the different colors that I used, and I'll tell you how I got to these colors. This is the smaller piece, which is the piece that you use to go inside the pockets, and this is the larger piece that you would use opposite a Memories and More card page or in coordination with. So the way I decided on my colors was to look on my Memories and More card pack. Now let's say you want to just try this at home and you don't have a Memories and More card pack. What I would suggest is to pick up a pack of designer series paper and find where your colors are listed on that paper pack. And if you can't find it, you might could search it up online. But pick three or more colors from the card pack or from your designer paper to be your colors throughout the book or throughout the album. That way it all coordinates. You don't have to think really hard. You just use those colors of cardstock. So with mine here, I picked Basic Black, so that's also a neutral, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, and Shy Shamrock. So these are some of those here shown down here to show you the cardstock colors. So when I cut these pieces of cardstock, this piece, which is, and I'll show you some examples, which is here on this layout, this piece is actually 5 inches tall by 3 3/4 wide. And that gives you a nice white border around with the envelope itself. So that's what the size is there for all of the pieces of cardstock. Same here. This one, of course, I also accented with some little leftover strips of the, you can see that, I cut these off of one of the cards. So that's what that piece, but that's still the same 3 3/4 by 5. And same with this one here and this one here. The inserts, like I mentioned before, and I'll show you this one in a petal pink version, they're 4 by 4 is the size that I used for the inserts. That way it's very easy to put in and out, and also if you're going to be adding photos, and I'll talk about that in a minute, you would want it to be a little bit smaller to not be so bulky. And then the Daffodil Delight was the last one I used on this page. So it's really just putting together the way you want it to look. That takes the most time, besides cutting a little bit of cardstock. As I mentioned before, or maybe I did, the pieces here, so these pieces here are, this is an example, so this is one of the Memories and More cards, and these are normally 4 by 6, the big ones, and so they don't exactly fit the standard basic white envelope. So I actually had to trim all of these down they are trimmed down. They're still 4 wide. I did not trim that direction on the width, but I trimmed on the length, and that is 5 3/8. So I trimmed it down from 6 inches to 5 3/8 to create all of these pieces. So this one back here is 5 3/8. This one back here is 5 3/8. This one here is 5 3/8. And you have to kind of decide by each card, am I going to cut off the top? Am I going to cut off the bottom? Or am I going to cut a little bit of each side? So this one, similar situation. You have to decide what you want to do. These are cardstock. This is one of the little mini cards. So the Memories and More cards also come with the mini cards. So this is an example of one of those. So I didn't cut that. I just laid that on top of the cardstock to create a little thing there. And this one is also cut down to 5 3/8 here. And then this is another mini card laid on top of it. So just like this one, when you cut this down to 5 3/8, you're going to end up with a greeting or text that is sideways. So then I found a small card to then place over the sideways greeting to cover it up, but still see a little bit of that peeking through. So theoretically, let's just say this was my card, I could do something like this, or I could just do that and layer that together, and now voila, this edge is nice bordering for this mini card here. You could also do something like this, where it's like got some words on it that do work with your direction. So I know this is a lot of information and not my normal Tuesday quick video, but that is the basics of the Accordion mini album. I'm really enjoying the process of this. I have never been a huge scrapbooker or memory keeper, but I felt like this was a really good place to start, and I was very motivated by Shannon West's Accordion mini album. So the last thing I want to show you real quick is how I did put the envelopes together. So the envelopes, as you know, our basic white envelopes have a sticky side. I did not lick all of these, I promise you. I used my green glue. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. So when you put these together, the first thing you want to decide is on your cover, your first envelope, that's kind of where you start. Do you want to have a pocket or not? Because if you want to have a pocket, you're going to need to start with the envelope like this, with the pocket facing you, and actually fold the flap backwards. Okay? The next thing to remember as you go along and build your accordion is that you are going to do flap to straight edge. You're not going to do flap to flap. You're going to build it flap to straight edge. Okay? So the flap, regardless of which way you're folding it, is going to go to the straight edge of the envelope. So it's just going in that direction the whole way. Whether you're doing 5 or 10, or maybe you want to make a giant one of these and make 20 of them. Just remember, it will get bulky as you add your cardstock and your photos. So what I did was I decided on the first one I was going to have an envelope, and on the next page going in, I did not want an envelope. So then you have to flip it so that the envelope is on the back side. So I'm going to lay it flat just to show you. And I'm just going to do one quick example, not a whole album worth. But just put some of the green glue. And remember, a lot goes a long way. And then you are going to put the straight edge of the envelope down at the seam of where the flap is on the first envelope. So this is the basics of how you build your accordion. Okay, so that's going to fold back that way. That's how it's going so far. I'm going to do one more just to show you. So then I want my next one to have a pocket. So I have pocket, no pocket. Then the next one I want a pocket. So I'm going to put glue on the back of this side and lay it down on the straight edge of the next envelope. So always do flap to straight edge. Okay. And again, use that little fold mark like that. Now you can see it coming together, right? So we've got, and then you just fold back and forth as you go. So I've got pocket, no pocket, pocket. Now, you're going to end up with things that look like this where you can see this, but eventually you're going to design it so that you place something over those sealed edges. So it'll all work together. So that is my brief explanation of the accordion envelope. And I just wanted to share that with you and share the excitement for this opportunity to offer you a class to go. And let me know in the comments if you would be interested in getting the information. Again, like I said, it's for US only. I am in the Virginia area, and I will send you the information, but it'd be $40 to get all the parts and pieces. And then you would just be assembling, and I'm going to do, for those that do the class to go, I will do a video tutorial more specific than this and broken out step by step on how to build your album. And the only things you would need would be some adhesive and some way to trim down some things as you go along. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed this different Tuesday tip, and I look forward to sharing with you next week. Bye.